Alrighty then, it's time for a Jungle Fiddlesticks game. Let's get this show on the road. Which one? I want to start this off with, talking about a little bit of a champion thing. What I mean by that is that a lot of people seem to assume that I play only a very specific pool of junglers, like pure bruisers and pure tanks and nothing else. You'd be surprised, actually, that I really do like other types of champions. And if I were to name my top 10 favorite champions, you'd be very shocked at who is in there. Not all of them are bruisers. In fact, probably half of them are mages. And I gotta say, Fiddlesticks is one of my favorites in the game, and he's probably a top 3 most trolly junglers in the game, and probably even champions. Thing is, a lot of people still underestimate him, and they don't sort of, respect his abilities. For starters, his Q is probably the strongest crowd control in the game, non-ultimate crowd control at least. And a lot of people will say, oh, all it does is just fear somebody. But, it's a targeted CC that's instant cast. Just watch this game, alright? I literally will walk up to Zed, just kind of click it. He doesn't even have a chance to react, and then he immediately feels silence right after. In fact, the bounce hits him twice, and there's nothing he can do. He's just dead. In most cases, people have very little time to react to Fiddlesticks' Q. I think there's like a very small frame before the fear actually goes off, so they can't really do very much if they're not like, Faker level reaction time, right? So in most cases, it just shuts people down. I actually picked Fiddlesticks against this lineup because they had Kennen, they had Amumu, and they had Janna too, and she is a counter, and they did pick her before I picked Fiddlesticks, but that wasn't going to stop me. If I just throw a crow and it hits her, she's not really going to do very much, and that's why I'm also rushing Hourglass, because I can ult in there and just Hourglass and she can't blow me away. In general, Fiddlesticks is just goofy as hell, and I love this right here. Zed is trying I gotta kill him before he drain tanks me, and he just can't. I'm pretty sure even if Syndra didn't show up, Zed would have still died. And the amount of tilt Zed would have felt would have been enormous. It's like a lot of hopelessness. People feel super hopeless when they can see that the damage they're dealing to Fiddlesticks is not enough to kill him while he's draining them. I love it. But yeah. The combination abilities of Fiddlesticks, the fear, the silence, and then the ultimate is really brutal hell. There are times where you don't even really have to use your ultimate to win as Fiddlesticks. Your Q alone is just ball-bustingly powerful. Like, you saw there, Amumu sort of engaged, and he kind of just got feared, and it was pretty much stuck. He was trapped again. He did screw himself right there, but you'll see what I mean. The reason I like to pick Fiddlesticks against champions like Kennen or Mumu is because, in a sense, Fiddlesticks is a counter to combo champions. Much like a lot of other crowd control champions are counters to them, Fiddlesticks is a really good one because at the start of their combo, just instant cast fear, and you just kind of have this huge roadblock against them. In the case of a Mumu, is if you see him Q in, just fear him. Instant cast fear. He can't pop his ultimate until, he gets off. Or watch this little scene. I love it. Kennen is like, oh my god, I gotta stun him. Oh, pops his ultimate. I fear him, and I just kind of walk away. And then he finally gets a chance to react, but by that time it's too late, and now he's caught, and he just gets absolutely destroyed. That's what I mean by Fiddlesticks being a huge counter to combo champions, or anyone relying on some sort of setup. Just throw fear. There's nothing they can do about it. And yeah, again, it does no damage. It doesn't do anything really fancy, but that's something that makes some crowd controls powerful. I know a lot of other champions have, hard CC attached to their kit, but it has some kind of defect to it. Disadvantage. In the case of a Mumu, his Q is, has a quote-unquote channel time. You gotta cast it, aim it, and obviously it's a skill shot. And then it'll hit somebody when it actually gets there. It's a hard crowd control, and it's technically one of the stronger ones for junglers to have, but it still pales in comparison to Fiddlesticks. Again, I cannot stress just how fucking powerful that thing is. I love it, and I just love playing Fiddlesticks. You throw a fear, throw a dark wind. It's 3 seconds of them being able to do nothing, and if the dark wind bounces on them again, it's just they just want to commit seppuku right then and there. It's just guts spilled everywhere. Your friend hanging next to you, just ready to make a trophy out of your head. This game pretty much gets out of control because I get to wander around and just sort of become a nuisance. The Fiddlesticks is really easy to kill. Even with an Hourglass, but still, you're just kind of really annoying. You annoy the hell out of people. And yeah, If I ever see a chance, like a good matchup for Fiddlesticks, I like to pick him because he's one of those champions with some of the most loopy as hell matchups. You know, if you were to look at a matchup chart for most champions, if you guys know how it works, it's like out of 10, you know, three times out of 10 times, or what, three versus 7, right? A champion should win or lose versus somebody, etc., etc. Fiddlesticks is pretty much a whole mess of those. A three to 7 is a huge skew. Most champions kind of have 4 to 6s, and just even divided by 0.5s, like 5.5 to 4.5, like a fighting game scale, right? It's very, like, most junglers are even with just some disparity. Fiddlesticks is all over the place. Some junglers, you know, just slap his little bony ass, or I mean woody ass, and other ones, there's nothing they can do. And in some team compositions, some matchups, they literally cannot stop Fiddlesticks, that it just kind of turns into this slaughter fest. In this particular matchup, I picked him because I felt my Dark Wind was going to absolutely screw the entire enemy team, except probably Fiddlesticks, right? Him, I just try to jump on him and just kind of kill him. His damage is pretty high and obviously destroys Fiddlesticks even when drain tanking, but whatever. Everyone else, a single Dark Wind bounce can disrupt their entire murder combo, and they just probably get killed by my teammates. That's why I picked them, and I love it. It's just so frustrating for them to deal with. Though in this case, they do get to kill me. My hourglass ain't enough to save me. But yeah, sad for me. Hell, even there, you did get to see that I got a Q off anyways. That's just the power of it. In fact, one of the things about Fiddlesticks that's always been difficult to balance has been that fear. I don't think Riot will ever take it away because it's technically iconic to him, you know, being able to, you know, scary, spooky scarecrow thing. And it's probably, I can't even think of right now if there's any other crowd control that's still instant cast targeted. The last other one I think existed was Tarek's stun, and even that one had a travel time. It was pretty slow too. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some, but yeah, most stuns, most hard control in this game have given some sort of deficiency, like Nocturne's channel time, or the fact that like Udyr's Bear has to be a slap. Yeah. I know, I'm just gushing over that Q, but it's so trolly. Also, I love the fact that, you know, Zed poured it back into my ultimate to die. Bane got the kill, but, you know, I would have killed him anyways. Yeah, this game snowballed absolutely out of control. Kind of, I mean, I'm not going to give myself all the credit, but the early ganks and just early interference against the enemy team was pretty damn disruptive to them. Syndra kind of probably won her lane on her own anyways, though the early gank was pretty brutal. And here it's kind of sad that Amumu steals the Baron. If you guys remember watching the stream, what ended up happening is my camera was positioned in such a way that I couldn't even see the Baron's health. So I took a crapshoot at the smite of it, and I failed it. But still though, at least fortunately we murdered 3 of them, so it's not the worst thing that could have happened. But it's still pretty bad. You know, you can slap me here and be like, bad stuff, bad. Don't fail your smite. Don't smite your smite. Anyhow, my teammates decide to, you know, fight without me, and of course they get destroyed. So much credit for my team. But no, honestly, my team at this point is way too far ahead. They really can't lose. I just kind of want to gush over Fiddlesticks and kind of talk a little bit and allude to probably a future video that I'm going to make about the fact that I like just almost any champions. My favorite type of champion in the game, I'll probably just dub it, they're the Punisher type of champions. The ones that are like, they can make something happen out of the blue. It's like you make a mistake or something, you die. Just like that. So, I won't spoil them because if you know, it will make the video worse. But I like anyone who has a really fast crowd control, or a way if someone slips away you can initiate on them or tag them or destroy them, that kind of stuff. Obviously they have to have crowd control. I love crowd control, or using, you know, chaining it properly and whatnot. Fiddlesticks is one of them, obviously, since I've been talking so much about him. Hell, I didn't even give praise to his ultimate. It's just been his base abilities as to how trolly they are. In fact, I actually think out of all of Fiddlesticks' abilities, his weakest is his ultimate. I know it does damage, and I know it kills enemies, but you so rarely get to use it optimally, and sometimes you don't even get to use it at all, that you can win games entirely without ever casting it. I mean, like in a lot of games where I play Fiddlesticks, the only times by the way, hold on, I gotta say this. We've been having this little ward fight, and then Twitch just like, you know, it's probably safe to just hang out by this wall, and he walks too close, and just see him absolutely murdered. You should have known we were still there. We've been fighting for that ward position for several minutes, or a couple minutes. I loved it. If you guys saw the stream, I was cracking my ass up. Anyways, yeah, in this game I did use my ult a couple times, but for the most part I'm just holding on to it. The only times I'll ever use it are if the enemy team engage in a really improper way or something. In fact, sometimes I just use it in their face because they just kind of screwed up. Like right here, they're gonna sort of do this really odd engage because they catch us off in a position, but they use all their crowd control, so just kind of ult in their face once they flash. It's like, okay, they literally can't stop me even when they see me, so they just kind of die. Like, I don't even try to hide most of the time as Fiddlesticks anymore, unless, you know, we're just kind of trading blows. For the most part, I use them as this quasi, you know, quasi CC support. Just stand next to the team. Somebody comes in to kill the carry, sphere them, and then throw a dark wind against the enemy team and hopefully disrupt a few people. Again, I hang out with the team. I don't do that, you know, scary, spooky Fiddlesticks thing from the other side. I only use it if, you know, there's just, you know, I see the opportunity. But I really do think Fiddlesticks' ultimate is kind of, how would you say, gimpsome. Because a lot of people kind of revolve their entire gameplay around it. They ignore his super powerful abilities. I mean, this Drain is probably the second worst ability, but only because later on in team fights just kind of get interrupted all the time. But yeah, you get what I mean. Try them out and use them how I've been suggesting, and you'll see it's a lot more funny and a lot more powerful. And remember, if you enjoyed the video, make a comment below in the comment section, and also give the video a like. That helps the channel a lot more than you think.